analyzing finance offers. That's really how you want to spend your winter, Darren?
Well, it is pretty exciting. Fortunately for me, in every operation, there's usually one guy that enjoys the bookwork a little more, does the bookwork a little more. For me, that happens to be Brian, which I really do appreciate, Brian. That really helps everything out that you have that kind of analytical mind.
Yeah.
But even for somebody more simple-minded like me, I can certainly look at different offers from certain companies, especially seed companies, but even chemical companies this year, and make some comparisons.
Yeah, but here's the reason why we're talking about this today. A lot of times, quite frankly, as farmers, we get suckered into these deals because there are great marketing people out there who make everything sound so fantastic. Like, oh, it's 0% financing offer for a year or 2 years. And we say, wow, I need to do that. And I'm going to buy this thing over here to get that. And then by the time you figure everything out, you realize, oh, not only did I pay for that financing, I paid too much for that financing. Plus, I didn't really get the product I wanted to begin with.
Well, like our dad always said, the only money that you can spend is the money you get back in the fall. It's not about what your input costs are. It's really about what you're going to net in the end of the year. So don't get too caught up that there's a great financing offer over here. Oh boy, they've got 0% financing. I better go jump on that. There's plenty of cheap financing out there. Interest rates are really low, historically speaking. You need to take a look at what the best seed is. But if you've got two companies that have equal seed, here's where you can start comparing those financing offers.
Well, you can, but here's what I worry about with these financing offers. Even if something sounds really good, let's keep in mind that if a company, call it a seed company, is bringing you an offer that includes financing, they have a cost for that financing. They're not going to do that financing in-house most of the time. They're going to farm that out to somebody else. And in order to do that, that somebody else is going to charge them, generally speaking, a pretty high rate and maybe a bunch of fees. So our preference is if you could get your local banker to work with you, you generally speaking can get a better interest rate and a better overall deal from the local banker, and then just tell the seed company, look, I don't want this offer. Give me a little better price instead of that 0% financing
so you're saying there's no free lunch.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, really, actually, you can see how much that cost is in many cases. Let's take a seed company, for example. Let's call it Seed Company X. Let's say they have a 9% cash discount, or they have a 0% financing offer, but you have to forego your cash discount. How much does your 0% financing offer really cost you? Well, if you're giving up a 9% cash discount, it costs you 9% financing. Well, you can go to just about any bank out there if your credit's even halfway as decent right now and borrow money cheaper than 9%.
Yeah, but you're really paying more than 9% because here's the way it works. If you could get a 9% cash discount in December versus paying in May with no cash discount, you're really only talking about 5 months different for 9%. Well, that's almost 20% APR. That's a big deal. So I would hope that you'd be able to borrow from your local bank at a lot less than 20% APR.
Every seed company that you're going to look at that has a finance offer, there's always something a little different. Some require you to give up some volume discount. Some require you to give up some cash discount. Take a look at what those details are and ask some questions. Don't just accept when a seed corn salesman comes to you and says, hey, I've got this great finance offer. Say, okay, tell me about if I pay cash. Then tell me about if I pay with the financing, and let's look at what those dollars are at the bottom and see what it's really costing.
Yep, so that's the reason why we're talking about all this today. We just don't want you to get misled. We want you to get the very best deal, and the only way you're going to get the best deal is if you truly understand what all the offers are, what you can get if you pay cash versus what you can get if you have financing. But there are a lot of decent financing offers, even just from your local bank, because interest rates are so low right now.
Well, it's nice to borrow money, but you really do need to have a purpose for that money. Something like weed control would qualify. We'll show you how to kill this tough weed later in the show.